2, 1. Hello everyone and welcome to this top table match for the HOTH Tabletop Simulator tournament. We have Madaghmire and Doctah here to help commentate or prevent me saying something stupid, and at the moment Ragnar has picked to go first and has chosen contested outpost.
So the choices were Advanced Gunnery and Doomed Station. What do you guys think?
I would have gone with Contested Outpost. Advanced Gunnery lets the Starhawk kind of outgun you. It doesn't mesh well with Gunnery team. And I frankly don't know enough about Doom Station. I'm a newer player, but Contested Outpost lets me just kind of get an idea where the battle's happening and take an approach. Because if I'm bringing an SSD, I feel confident I can outpunch a Starhawk potentially.
The Doom Station allows kind of the Starhawk to drag it along by its ass, and basically score points and repair off it.
Yeah, I think this was the right choice as well, for a lot of the reasons that you guys just said. So I'm not going to belabor the point. As we begin our obstacle placement. No.
And we're live on YouTube?
We are live on YouTube.
So don't say anything you wouldn't want on YouTube.
Yeah. Do not sing copyrighted music.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I think as always, I've marked the stream as not suitable for children, so if you have delicate ears, I do apologise. I have not found a good place to put the score though, so we're just going to knock that off for now, and maybe it'll come back a little bit later on when we have some. These are not fleets that use up the whole of the table.
Alright. So far, it looks like they're just trying to block off those outside corner approaches. Both sides.
So what do we think? Who do we think has the advantage here?
Oh. I like... This is tough. This is a really tough one. When you have two heavyweights going at it like this, you figure the SSD is the big heavyweight, but the Starhawk and the Onager to another extent were both kind of designed to kind of bring the SSD kind of back into parity a little bit. I think it really is going to depend on how these approaches go. If the Starhawk can get out of the SSD's front arc, it almost by definition winds up with a double. And then it can win. If it's forced to sit in the SSD's front arc for any reason, then I think this becomes a much more winnable game for the SSD. I also like the tractors.
So I've spoken to both beforehand to get a little bit of colour, and Ragnar's kind of worried about facing 1000 Eyes because 1000 Eyes has been popping up in all the TTS tournaments and dominating. However, 1000 Eyes has never, ever, ever played against an SSD before, he told me.
Yeah.
So does that change your opinion on how this is going to go?
Well, I mean, there's a lot to be said for, player experience. So much of this game is the choices that we make, more than it is the lists that we bring. That said, 1000 Eyes is here. He made it to this point in the tournament. I have faith in his ability to make these plays on the fly. And there's not a lot of moving parts in Ragnar's lists. There's just...
It's going to hit you, and hit you very, very, very hard. I don't think the objective does much, though, for 1000 Eyes. Because...
No, because...
He's going to be losing it from turn 1. Well, maybe turn 2.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting. This is where it gets really interesting. Is this initial approach? How this winds up working out.
And I feel like I've played them both, and I feel like Ragnar does not care where you're going to go. He places his SSD and he'll work around it because he's got JJ and he knows how to use them.
That's good. Yeah, I honestly don't know how people play this ship without JJ. I feel like he's the spoon that stirs the pot, as it were, for this ship. We'll see how this goes. I'm really excited to see where he puts the Starhawk here. Guess he's decided that he doesn't need to really care where the Gazantes are going. Just drop this from jump. You can't drop it that far up.
Yeah, it's not hyperspace mega assault.
Interesting.
The Rebels got the new version of hyperspace rings, which instead of allowing you to deploy fighters, allows you to deploy your capital ships. So a small
And then you can Radis bomb off it.
Yeah. Oh, he's just so good, Mr. Radis.
Yeah.
Or Bob
Well,
Radis, as I like to call him.
We haven't seen him as much lately. I don't know how much of that is people are tired of him, or if he's actually just been brought down in efficacy.
Well, like, this is the thing. Everyone knew Yavaris was always the list that was the top one, but a lot of people did not play it. And I think the Tabletop Simulator tournament is, okay, it has some sharks in it, but it also has a lot of casual players, particularly from the Italian meta. But then again, why didn't we see him in the Vassal World Cup? Like, is the Onager just too dangerous?
See, I personally don't think so. I built a Radis fleet early to deal with honors. I think you can Radis off something like a potato, bring in something big, and the potatoes doesn't have to super worry about an onager because that first shot you can evade the first the two most dangerous dice anyway. And it's a big, it's a pretty survivable ship, especially for a medium. So I don't think it's the onager that killed Radis so much. I do wonder, like, there's certain things that I expected to see in the Vassal World Cup that I didn't see, and part of that is that I was, I'm just wrong. It happens a lot. But I think there's people get tired of playing the same stuff.
Yep.
And I think some of the players are just like, I don't want to play this anymore. I've been playing Radis for X number of years. I don't want to do it. I want to play something new, or something old that's new again.
And I don't think anybody was too enthusiastic about being any great variation in playstyle after the changes.
No, I think that's true.
Yeah. I'm just going to step away for a second and I'll be right back.
Sure. As we drop some flotillas, this is some of the most important drops of the game. In exactly 0 ways. So try to figure out what these flotillas are going to do. The Gazantes, both Comsnet.
Yeah, both Comsnet Gazantes here.
We've got kind of A-wing enablers and a little bit of command order protection with Leo Organa on one of the on the bread transport here. I do like Bright Hope Tauren with this A-wing heavy fighter ball. It's not going to matter as much in this situation, but it is a good, I think, fighter ball in general.
And it's all black dice, which is it's just a numbers game versus the SSD at certain points.
Yeah, I mean Torrent's not going to do as much in this round, in this particular game. Here comes Jaina's Light. Can't be obstructed, but it can help you make sure get that
Station.
station if you want.
Yeah,
Or
if
just-
he parks it within distance 1, it'll give him 5 command over the SSD's 4.
A little bit dangerous to do so, I think.
Yeah.
I think personally I would come from the other side with the with Jaina's. Let it swing out, and never risk the possibility that it ever comes close to that front arc.
Yeah, I think
Or-
once it's in medium range of the front arc, that Jaina is dead.
Yeah. But there's something to be said for a target-rich environment.
That's why Gunnery Team kind of staples itself on that SSD.
Absolutely.
Yep. But just to give a bit of background to our competitors today. So, ATHOUSANDAYES, he started playing in 2006. Riken
2006.
2017. What? I can't read tonight. Apologies, everyone.
Man,
I was like,
that is alpha playtesting right there.
Yeah. His name was on the box. No, he started playing in like 2017. Played for a couple of months, then ran into Riken Flotilla Gallant Haven nerfs, and then kind of quit because he felt the kind of factions were a bit limiting. And 40k dragged him out. And then Clone Wars dragged him back. So he started playing TTS in December. So he's TTS in about a year. And he's based out of Manchester, so Element Games is his local meta. Favorite faction is Rebels, but Separatists are trying to draw him in. Ragnar then is the Italian representation. So he's from he's from Genoa, and I asked him which meta, and he was like, "I don't have a meta." He has been playing since 2016, but shortage of players meant he only started playing in 2019 at his first tournament. And shockingly, his favorite faction is Empire. There's about 3 people to play with in Savona, which is located near Genoa. Sorry. And I think he said he just started this tournament with the idea of bringing a good SSD that doesn't take too many slaps, and he didn't think he'd make it this far. So, yeah, gotta have a dream, people, if you want to have a dream come true.
I think that's actually a great way to approach a tournament, especially a large tournament like this. Is if don't put any real pressure on yourself, just come in. You're here to have fun. You're here to play a game. And if you happen to do well, hey, great. And I think when you do that, you're less likely to make those mistakes that you see people make in tournaments when they put too much pressure on themselves and lock up their decision making. So I think it's a great approach for Ragnar, and we'll see how he does here. But I'm glad there's Italian representation in this Italian tournament. That's good.
Yeah, it'd be kind of rude of us if we boxed them out.
Well, Hurricane made sure that at least Caribbean Ninja wasn't doing it. So the question was, I think Boba Fett is right. I think the one time that SSD was due to face an onager, a Hurricane took it out. An actual real-life Hurricane. He 10-1'd me because I got a bit silly, and having 8 hull against an SSD is probably not the greatest idea. Is that angle okay? I'm just seeing questions from the chat. Is that angle okay, Alessandro? But yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a good match. With I played both of these gentlemen, and not both in this tournament, but they're both lovely guys.
As we sit here, as they place their first commands.
It looks like Ragnar played an SS or a Starhawk build similar to this earlier.
Yep, and that was another British Starhawk as well.
Yeah. So that list,
What's a British Starhawk?
It's being run by a British player.
Oh, okay. I was like, do they have like a special build that they like? Is there a Union Jack painted on it? Like, what's going on?
Don't test them. They will do that. Though I think that there's a danger of Iron Brew fleets as well, which is the Scottish sugary drink of death or life, depending on what angle you're approaching it from.
I'll give it a shot. I love this new thing they have on TTS where it shows you the points everything is worth. You can like see. It's like, oh, that's worth 20. That is worth 25 points. That thing is worth 250 points plus 76 points of upgrades. That's fantastic. I love how far this mod has come.
Oh yeah, Valadian's done a wonderful job in the past 6 months of, before it was pretty much just literally a tabletop like reflection, and now it's something that's uses the best of tabletop gameplay and the best of computer-based gameplay with like the spawner and all the instant range rulers and everything, and it really just did a wonderful job of getting that really built out.
So one thing I discovered by accident, because Valadian was looking at one of the battle reports, is if you take those objective tokens and put them on your side of the board, they will also count for the objective. I did not know that.
Oh, cool. Meanwhile, the yellow Gazanti has moved up and turned in a little bit. That might be the most important move we see in this entire game. I'm just kidding. No one cares.
No, I mean, yeah, it really sets up a whole lot of options.
Well, if it gets in the way of the ass of the SSD, that's where we could see problems.
Yeah.
I think Jaina's where Jaina's goes is going to be interesting.
He started at speed 1 with Jaina's, which is more than a little surprising to me.
Well, I suppose he doesn't like. This is the thing. You could, hell, even JJ can go too fast with the CR90, so like it won't have too much trouble jumping up speed. Like it can be speed 3 by turn 2. It may just want to see where the SSD goes, and knows where the zone of death is, because a misplaced side shot might accidentally knock that out of the air. Because remember, there is quads on Ravagers, so it's like getting a blue dice if you're going faster than it, then getting an extra dice for a concentrate fire token, and suddenly it's very, very, very scary, even just from the side arc.
That's true.
All right. Looks like the parade of GR75s continues along the back line there. Now we might actually see a real ship activate.
Real ship or flying health bar?
Yes.
Why not both? That asteroid there is looking...
Yeah, I think if you turn the overlaps.
And it might need to be worth it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you're an SSD, you can afford to tank it.
But you're also burning stuff with JJ, and it's...
Yeah, JJ's gonna miss those shields, but...
He
Oh,
goes straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
He'll make the turn next
Interesting.
turn.
I guess, yeah.
As I suddenly realised I was chewing unmuted for a second. I am the best at this. And thanks again, Joyce, for joining me and helping commentate.
Thanks for having us. There we go with the Starhawk. Looks like it took a nav token. We'll stay at speed 1.
Oh, and by the way, if you're interested, I know we were talking about Vassal earlier. If you're interested in the Vassal World Cup, Doctah's YouTube and Twitch channels are probably the best place to get coverage on it as well.
Oh no, I got the token from the green transport. That's what happened. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's sending over tokens with the Gazanti or GR75, so the Starhawk can
So what do you guys
leverage
think?
the dial.
Are you trying to stay at 1 here? Do you pop up to 2 and try and cut? I guess this is the choice that he's made.
I think he's trying to stay out of that double arc, so I think staying 1 makes sense here.
The thing is, I think the next move with the SSD, if it doesn't allow the Starhawk enough movement to turn and get the double arc, then that actually might be the deciding of it.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing to say.
Honestly, I might keep the Starhawk off the station as well. I guess it's contest outpost. Never mind,
yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
And like, even if like Jaina's just needs to get out of there, because, or maybe sit behind the Hawk the entire game, because it is not going to be able to contribute meaningfully to the contested outpost battle, because that flotilla is close enough to jump in, and there's no gunnery teams on the Hawk.
Yeah.
And if the CR90 is there, it needs to be throwing the kitchen sink at that SSD.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
Like, I really get what he's doing with, keeping it a slower Jaina's light, tucked in, ready to help contest the outpost. But I think speed 1 was a little bit of an overreaction. If you really wanted speed 2, you can slow it down with that dial. Or if you really wanted the speed 1 move, you could slow it down with the dial. That's from speed 2. But I think, deploying at speed 2 is just so safe, because you can get up to speed 3 if you need to, or you can, get that yaw. But really, that just the ability to jump up from, he chose the speed 1 move, so.
And he just sneaks it in.
Yeah, really close. I feel like speed 2 just makes a little more sense from a deployment perspective.
Those moves there are one of my favorite things about playing on the computer, is not having to lift up the model and sneak in the maneuver tool, and then the thing is 5 feet to the right.
Well, this is the thing.
I dropped it.
We probably actually see a higher representation of SSDs in online tournaments than actual real tournaments, because trying to actually... Can you imagine trying to get an SSD to face off directly against a Starhawk? They physically will not go together.
That's a good point. Plus, there's the actual deal with actually having to bring that model someplace.
Yeah. No, my buddy, as a birthday present, he actually bought me the SSD.
That's a good present.
Yeah, like I know, like I had no real intention of buying it myself. My wife would be like, "What the hell? You spent over $1,000 on plastic figurines the past year?" Because, like I said, it's just started playing. But it's the only Imperial thing I did not have. And he brought a Starhawk to the table against it, and that was hard, physically hard to get everything, and like we had to pop the model off. The SSD itself, kept kind of popping off half of its 2 pegs. So yeah, it was a challenge, but it was a really good game. So I think this one's gonna be good here. So he's hiding his squadrons farther back. It's interesting.
I think what he's doing is just preserving them until he's ready to pounce in one go. Because he's got expert shield techs on that SSD. So, like, let's say he does 5 hits. 2 of those are cancelled out. 3 of those are cancelled out by the expert shield techs. Throw away a repair dial that he wasn't going to use on anything else. And he has a bunch of squadrons now to flak in addition to the shot at the Starhawk.
Yeah.
Where-
Yeah, I was thinking more of, just you have that state. Oh, I guess I keep thinking the state is contest outpost. I stopped picking contest outposts out of principle. I got tired of playing it. But yeah, so yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense since there's no healing really to be done.
Yeah, just for anyone who's watching is not sure why it would be 3 getting replaced, Riva Demence is gonna refresh one of those tokens. That's why Irish said 3. In case wondering. That's
Yeah.
why.
And here, like, the lack of other defensive officers as well is terrifying. I would, like, with no Brunson, no damage control officer on that SSD, and you'd be like, no even Nita, or, nothing to stop those big grits from coming in. Like, this is just all offense, really. It's a very, I've got bigger numbers than you. Your numbers are going to shrink because I'm going to reduce them, and then I'm going to murder you. So at least Agate has Blissix to pull like counters back, but if there's enough accuracies, like those defense tokens could go away really fast. I think the Italian meta in particular, though, loves their intel officer.
I agree with them. I love intel officer's fantastic. You can put being able to put token pressure out is super valuable. Especially as we see more and more effective defensive schemes and with ECMs and haymakers, being able to get rid of that brace. But in this particular battle, I don't know how much it's gonna help.
Yeah, I mean, the Starhawk has 2 of the core 4 there, so you're gonna need an accuracy on 1 brace and still let them brace, just to burn 1. Or you can accuracy, if you have 2 accuracies, you can just let them burn the salvo. So really, it really gets hard up against Starhawks because they just have so many tokens to burn through.
And it's redundant tokens, and they don't care if they get rid of 1.
Yeah, I mean he's got Walex too, so
It's a lot.
Yeah, sure, I'll take that brace back.
Yeah, I'd nearly just keep it targeted on the salvo, and just force the salvo to go away. And then he gets 2 salvo attacks. That includes burning Blissix.
Yeah.
Because, like, Thousand Eyes needs every bit of dice if these 2 come to blows.
And the tractor beam array was used on the SSD, so it's now speed 1 for those of you watching at home.
Thanks, Jesse. We appreciate the compliment. They're really enjoying the commentary, which is great. Other people are discussing the Onager against the SSD.
I think the Onager versus the SSD is a fun game. It's clearly designed to deal with it, especially if you have the blue beam Onager. Very much meant to be a check on the SSD, which I think at the time was, a big meta warping force. Now we're seeing a little bit less of it. The Xanthi coming around, screaming around that SSD. It's really coming hard.
Yeah, I am kind of wondering why.
Gotta
But
get that
Maybe
blue dice on target.
yeah,
No, but
never doubt Killer Gazanti.
jokes
like-
aside, though, if you can put both of those on the Starhawk, that's an extra 4 dice. That's a real thing. Maybe 5 if you could start going to conk fires.
Help
I'm
the
assuming
flak game.
Yeah.
double arcs, and I'm assuming yes, and absolutely end with flak. Well, I mean, Ravager's flak is not to be laughed at, not to be understated.
So, where is ATHOUSANDAYES putting his dials? I didn't see which dial he revealed there.
I didn't see it either. Oh, it was on the GR75, the green one.
He's just
the Field
turning it. Yeah.
Squadron. Yep.
So we'll just need to
Normally
get
I
him
drag
in a
them
little
off when I play.
bit closer.
Oh, your first damage of the game comes in.
And is negated.
Expert shield tech.
Let's see here. Let's see what he does. May choose. Yeah.
Yep, expert shield tech.
Wildly surprising.
Shocked and appalled. And appalled and shocked.
All right, Tycho.
A-Wings, just here to be A-Wings.
I think he actually might find himself running out of space here with his A-Wings. I think he might have another squadron set up potentially on that. Oh no, he's actually with only 3 A-Wings left, he's probably only got a squadron on the Starhawk.
Well, one of those is rogue.
Yeah.
So
So that's why I think the Starhawk might have the squadron instead of the red.
Riva brings back the redirect, and presumably then spends it again.
Yep.
oh no, they took the damage. There's 5 shields now on the front.
Ooh.
Well, it may be a case that you need those redirects for the Starhawk, because remember, you may actually want to spend it as a redirect so that Riva can trigger next round.
That's a fair point.
Now, the one thing that may really help the SSD here is the fact it does have XI7s.
Yes.
So that does reduce the efficacy of those if it are redirects a little bit.
But I mean, both these large ships are packing the expert shield deck. So even if you can't use the redirect the way you want to, at least you can reduce the damage. One of the reasons I love expert shield techs on any redundant redirect ship, I think it makes that token just so much better.
The work it does for victories is something fantastic.
Victories, absolutely. Architans, I think, just love that
card. Rebellion in the Rim Architans with expert shield techs, and you're just like, my squadrons are useless now. And here we see the expected repair that came in from the SSD. So, like we speculated, any repair, he's going to throw them. And no speed difference, so no quad battery turrets. And that's a decent roll. That's 6 damage. And he's going to Ravager. Has he forgot to intel officer before he does this? That's 7 damage, but no use of the intel officer. So
in fact, even Ravager, he rerolled. He rerolled with the Confire token.
Maybe a bit late for his trigger. But
they might be invoiced.
Yeah.
They might also just be some of a very large portion of this player base that just fundamentally misunderstands where the intel officer timing is, and I don't blame them because I played that wrong for like 4 years.
Yeah,
So-
as someone who's doing that and playing it in the Vassal World Cup, and that was like my first real tournament. I was like, I cannot forget this trigger. And like I'd start like, okay, and I will. Oh wait, intel officer.
No.
Kept having to back myself up.
So I'm guessing he did intel the salvo, and that's why it wasn't used.
It's likely, yeah.
But that is pure speculation on my part. And
I think that makes sense because it's just, I mean, not worth burning at this distance here with just the 2 red with no fixing. Oh, I guess he has linked turbo laser towers. Never mind. So maybe just saving it for another day.
Embrace redirect used to mitigate the damage. Redirect used with the EST effect.
Yep. So only 2 damage suffered. Really. Apologies, 3 damage suffered. Can't math.
Tough call. This is going to be one of the more important. This actually will be one of the more important choices that the SSD makes. Unlike the Kazanti move earlier, as he figures out exactly how he wants to place this before engagement.
like if he goes too close, the Starhawk has enough kind of. There's no opportunity to readjust. Whereas now it all depends where the Starhawk goes. If the Starhawk.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yep. So the one thing where TTS fails horrifically compared to Vassal is the squadron overlap thing. Because if you don't have them move before something overlaps them, like, I don't know, an
You can just
SSD.
unlock them.
Except when it ends
hover
up.
over and press the L.
Except
Oh,
when
yeah, if it's way under it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, there's
no.
He's
sometimes
broken the
random
dials.
things that happens with shield tiles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have never seen that happen with the undo move on a shield dial.
They might have winded back time.
Oh. Yeah, that'll do it though. Yeah, you can't. As someone who mashes Control Z frequently in Excel, it's a bad habit to have in TTS.
Okay, so now I think they're going to try respawning the shield dials.
Yeah, so right click in the ship description, type in shields, no enter. Boom. They
So
back.
problem solved. Good job thinking on their feet. This is why these 2 gentlemen have made it to the finals of this tournament.
Their ability to solve complex problems.
Or even simple ones.
And we actually have Valadian in chat, and basically he's commenting about the things he added. He actually did play Ragnar in round 1, and he was running. I think he was running Galactic Republic.
I think we see another squadron command of the bread transport here.
That has not been flipped yet.
Yeah. No, do you think that's what we'll see?
Probably, unless I think that what do we think? Looking at the distance between that Starhawk and that SSD, I think that Starhawk is going to be able to double arc, and there's nothing the SST is going to be able to do about it.
No, I don't think so. He's stuck.
And by the way,
is if can he double arc and leave himself a path to kind of strafe the side?
does he need to though?
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't want to be. I don't want to risk leaving myself in the front arc of the SSD. It's a lot to chew through. I'm
Yep.
not sure which of these will go down first, but I believe it'll be the Starhawk. I could be wrong. It's again very possible. Dice
Yeah.
could go a certain way, but I think I'd rather strafe down the side and just keep double arcing weaker arcs.
Yep.
The
Yep.
problem doing that though is, you then could lead yourself open to double arcs. But if the point is to avoid dice, that's not helping. So, because even the rear auxiliaries are real arcs on the SSD.
Yeah. No, Valadian is reminding me that it was 8 Y-Wings, Acclimator, Pelta that he faced off against Ragnar's list with. But yeah, like, by the way, if you're looking to know how to double arc with a Starhawk, I believe Master of the Fleet have a YouTube video from when it originally came out going over how best to Starhawk with your Starhawk. Double arc with your Starhawk. There it is. Yeah, so the squadron off the Hawk rather than the transport. So it's probably going to pass a repair from that transport.
Sounds right. I'll go further and say, if there's any ship that you're not sure how
Link.
you want to fly and you want some tips, Master of the Fleet, if they've done one on that ship,
Yep.
it's a good one. So it's worth taking a look at.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they've done an MC-75 video. That's a ship I have struggled to fly. I'm mainly an Imperial player, but I want to make the MC-75 like work, and I just haven't been able to make it work for me, at least.
The problem with the 75 is for me is it's almost too much of a jack of all trades, and it doesn't have a weak arc, but it doesn't have an overwhelmingly strong one. So you really need to double with it. I know there's been players who've had some success with it using Maydeen. I know I think someone tried using agate with it. I mean, you can throw agate on anything.
I was running Agate Yavaris for a while before 1.5. But yeah, the MC-75, I think the main thing is keep it cheap and keep it fast. It doesn't have real defense tokens. They are an illusion.
But I've got 4 of them. That's good, right? 4 tokens.
2 real tokens.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be great if Rebels had Nida, but sadly they do not. Okay, so Ragnar is very reluctant to use those redirects trivially even. So he is saving them up to kind of make sure that the side doesn't get exposed. Oh, and that is a lot of accuracies and not a lot else.
Leading shots.
What's he leading shots? He's Torn firing.
What? Oh, Torn far. Very well.
Yeah, because it did. So that is 5 damage with 2 accuracies. You
Link turbo laser towers.
The brace and that.
Another accuracy. What's it? How's it reroll on this?
This one I'm not sure about.
Yeah, maybe we're just seeing a bit of lag with the dice roll. I don't know.
Do you have a Confire token? I don't think so.
No.
I'm assuming I lost something by not being in voice with them.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the redirect. He's obviously locked the braces. And he's contain. So why is there a contain happening?
There's only 2. Looks like there's only 2 accuracies up.
Yeah. So he's taking it to the hull rather than redirecting. Because there's no XI7s on the other side. So the first hull damage on the SSD.
Okay.
Because I thought you keep those shields. I presume the SSD is going to go first and get those shields back, and we'll have Riva back in. But this is going to be now the Hawk attempting to double arc.
And camp on the station.
And succeeding. Because
And once again, we will remind people that the station does not heal in contested outpost.
But it helps.
Nope.
It'll help
No.
the secure. It's
Nope.
stuck at distance 1. Now it's stuck at distance 1. I have the double arc.
Yeah.
So now I can just overload the zone with things. He doesn't have to worry about the forward momentum carrying him out of the zone. If he did swing around, he would have to worry about eventually giving up the outpost.
And here we have the double arc, and
I think he's avoided getting double arc in return as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a good way. If you have to be in the front arc, that's where you want to be.
And you want to be a Starhawk.
Yeah, and you do want to be a Starhawk because it's the only ship I think in the game that has a chance of surviving it.
Or at least to have Lando on the other ship. Lando is the one thing that might buy you that time. Or the jerk Gazanti. So
I had a Confire, gave a token to the SSD.
Are we thinking the SSD is just loaded up for bear with nothing but repairs at this point?
I mean, I would assume so. You can get its tokens from the other two, from the Gazantis.
Yeah.
And then just build its repairs out.
So the Gazanti, does it jump to 3 here and try and get close to the station? That does seem like murder if it ends up anywhere near that arc of that Starhawk.
Well, I mean, the Starhawk can't. I don't think it's going to waste time shooting at the Gazanti.
Well, unless it, yeah. Well, potentially. Like, this is the thing, if it's the difference between it getting the token and it not getting the token. Particularly if he wants to take 4 tokens and then... Because...
Sure, but there's no guarantee that you even get the kill if you do it. So it's one of those kind of tricky things. Here comes Jaina, and you got to assume we'll see 3 damage here. Unless you got a cock. Is it cock? I missed the... Oh, he does! Cockfire. Check that out. Maybe 4 damage.
You call it cockfire?
Conc. C-O-N-C. Conc. And a concentrate. I don't know how this happens, but this is what we call it around my table. We do a lot of drinking, okay? Armada is often paired with a whiskey.
Fair enough.
So we have some idiosyncrasies. I don't know what to say.
Was there a mistake by Ragnar with the SSD going first?
I don't think so. He's out activated.
Yeah.
Didn't he want? I think he wanted to keep how he had the commands structured on the Gazantis. Didn't really give him a choice if he reconsidered, but because I guess he could have waited out Jaina's light at least, maybe. But not sure.
No, Jane just has a choice here because it's going to be at red range, and it's going to stay there. Did it get its double arc? So, like, you want to try and get that double arc if you can. You can't be obstructed. You don't have to worry about losing the red on the side.
And it also just doesn't want to get too bloody close.
No.
I will have no part of this endeavour. So, welcome to everybody watching. If you're looking for other channels, Doctah has a Twitch and a YouTube channel where he streams as well. And if you're watching this after the fact, those will be in the description of the video. Actually, I could probably...
See one more black dice going into the front from YT.
And this is the thing, it's just piling the damage on slowly. And like that, we see all the tokens are exhausted. There's 3 hull damage now. That is not something you'll easily walk back from. And the Starhawk then has just the 1 shield damage effectively.
That's going to take a hard hit, you know, at the beginning of the next round. And it's going to, whenever it takes it, it's going to take it all to that side. I don't know if he's got a line there. Doesn't look like it. Looks like that draws over the side arc, so he's going to have to go into the front.
Yeah, that double arc is brutal because not only is he taking more dice, he doesn't even have a shot at that that weaker side arc.
And those squads are just going to eat away any kind of Riva advantage. So
yeah.
he's going to either have to use the redirects on the first 2 kind of attacks, which isn't fantastic, or not get a use out of her.
No, you got to anticipate he's going to start flacking at some point.
But that is like Shara and Tycho are not going down to flak.
No, they're not.
The YT is 3 rounds minimum to kill. At which point we've just finished round 2, going into round 3, and you kill it round 5, and that's if you get perfect dice. Like the A-wings are the things that the 3 generic A-wings are the things that are going to die, but there's going to be 3 fighter dice going into that front from now until that SSD is dead. And you're kind of guaranteed at least 2 damage a turn out of that.
Yes, that I would agree with all of that. Let's see if that screaming yellow Gazanti can get over there.
The yellow
help out.
The yellow Gazanti submarine. Now, the one funny thing is if the if the red Gazanti actually gets an unobstructed shot at the front once the shields are down, it might put a crit on that Starhawk. But they would need to be very lucky. But
yeah, it's probably not going to be using its own commands since it'll feed them over to Ravager.
Yep.
Well, maybe not. Maybe he can flip it over and let the red do the. I don't know if he's been doing it already. Do the navigate. Like no, lose the navigate and let the yellow feed Conkfire tokens.
Yeah.
It's really at this point all he really needs token wise is that Conkfire token.
And maybe he's bringing the yellow to flak and try and get some of those A-wings out of there. Or maybe he's going flotilla hunting. Who knows?
Nah, I mean, like, you hope that maybe you can peel off some A-wings, but I don't think you expect to do so. You expect your opponent not to go off the 300-something point target. 326. I'm gonna go look at this cool, handy-dandy addition Vladimir made. Yeah, 326.
Yeah, I managed to get it to half health in our game, and I still got absolutely annihilated. It is a monster of a ship.
Oh, it's huge. He's taking 3 damage, so he's only got 19 left.
So style points wise, does Ragnar win this competition simply because of the boldness of bringing the SSD? Does he win the Battle for Hoth style competition?
Style competition. Sure. I didn't see, I don't think, enough of the lists. Like, I like to see like some really interesting, fun jank. I mean, anyone playing
So like the
Gar gets points for it, I think. So I don't think that fleet is really. I don't think that faction is really fleshed out yet.
How about the double Starhawk list from Kaiser?
No. I mean, like, I hope he had fun playing it.
He always does.
So that's all. I mean, that's what matters, right? Like, as long as he had fun playing it, that's what really matters.
I keep missing when they do this ruler. I think that looks like the. Oh, of course, because the Starhawk is just awkward in where its dots are.
Yeah, they're really tucked in there on the sides.
So we have 2 accuracies.
That's for the brace.
Yep. So where is the intel officer going? Salvo, one would hope again that it's being done in chat and not being done after the concentrate fire. And agreed, Valadian, it's not just style points. This is if style was a separate competition. But Valadian is saying that he got 10 hull damage on him on round 3.
Well, we'll see if the Starhawk can match that. I think it's got a good shot.
Yeah, well, it's 2 of the 10 there already. And there's 3 shields on the front of that SSD. So I presume it's just fix hull, fix bayonets, and redirect shields from every other part of that ship for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable position.
Because it's going to be bumpy and grindy the rest of the way down, I think. So we see a redirect.
You get his 70 ion placement off this time.
Oh, yeah. And that's kind of crucial.
That's gonna being able to consistently get those ions to fire is gonna be a key component.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he's burnt the brace for Agate. Like, this is the thing. There's going to be. This is round 3. There's only 3 more attacks after this from that front arc. So it's down to 3 damage plus the 1 from the
Expert shield tech.
from the but 3 damage plus the 1 initial damage from the heavy ions. So a big hit, but the Starhawk's a big boy.
Yeah. Well, I assuming the Starhawk is gonna run another repair command in this next round, I would pull those 2 shields off the sides. Like, that's like step 1. Let's get rid of these before they just disappear.
Looks like he's going for the flak.
Yep. And that looks like it's on a scatter race.
Yep, sure. Ooh, nice little double hit there on the right.
Except it looks to be on another scatter race.
From Tycho.
Tycho is unamused.
Not as unamused as Ragnar is, I'd say.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh,
there's the accuracy he wants.
That's amusing.
No scatter races.
Are heartbreaking.
Pretty consistent red dice.
Yeah, whereas the blue are just shitting the bed, really. And as I say that, they up their game. And then on the YT, 2.
There 2.
That was some very good red dice flak.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the red dice were put in work. Only 1 accuracy though, and it came too late.
Can't expect to see that the rest of the way, but that was nice. Bumpity bumpity.
bumpity, I think. I don't think there's... The only way is hull damage from here on in. Unless he flips it to the side, but do you want to flip it to the side? Like, do you actually want to get out of there? Because then that Starhawk's in your side arc.
Well,
I think if he doesn't bump, is he going to bump his own flotilla? Is that why that's there? So he can bump his own flotilla and not take the additional hull damage off that Starhawk? Because if it is, mad feckin' respect. But
yeah,
if he
that'd be
is,
inspired flying.
if he does not, if he manages to escape the Starhawk and has his side to it, I think it's going to be double side arcs from the Starhawk. If it, I know it won't because the front arc's better, but like that, I do not see that SSD killing that Starhawk if that's the case.
Well, but I could see it working if it means putting a double arc onto the Starhawk, but I don't. Yeah, I don't see how that happens from this position.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just not seeing it.
Ragnar is a better SSD player than anyone on the stream, though. So
yeah, that's completely fair.
They're bumping. They're bumping, or they're remembering damage, or they're confused.
No, I don't think it doesn't look like the Starhawk's taken any damage yet. I think Ragnar's trying to figure out how he wants to do this.
And this is
no, that's not legal.
Looks like that one shield dial on the left side has fallen somehow.
It's fallen and it can't get up.
Yeah, needs a life alert.
Yeah.
Medevac alert.
There is also a kind of rogue shield dial under the middle of it.
We'll see that move in the squadron phase.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
But these are some beautiful looking models. All credit to the modelers, and all credit to basically everybody involved. Yeah. And great work, Valadian, for putting together a special mat for TTS for this tournament.
There's a lot. It's really iconic seeing the SSD over the HOTH. You know, because that's where we see it. For the first time. Yeah. Starhawk we don't see ever.
Well, have you played? Have you played
Squadrons?
Yeah.
Which that was one I think, and I know it's like a super nerdy complaint. It was one of my biggest complaints of the movies. Was I kept waiting to see the Starhawk. I was like, surely they'll give me the Starhawk this time.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Like my biggest complaint about the last movie was that space battle was just.
There's a lot going on. Very busy.
Well, no, it was just the bit where they all show up at the end, and it was just like literally, here's a matte painting of some rebel ships. Now we're going to move along.
Yeah, well, the worst part is it was like, let's reuse the same models every so often. To like, I mean, yeah, there's going to be a lot of
but
duplicates.
Still no Starhawk.
Like, yeah, no, they didn't make any custom models for that. Really, it was just like, let's dig into the toolbox of what we previously have built.
And as an Armada player, I found that offensive because I would like new models to play with.
Yeah,
I have an addiction to plastic spaceships, and I need my fix. So what the heck?
There will be numbers for Plastic Cracks and Plastic Crack Anonymous after the show. If you feel you or a loved one is affected by this, just ignore the number. Plastic spaceships are great. Keep chugging along. Just avoid that X-wing crack.
He does turn here.
That's not
and
double arcing. That's Starhawk.
that's not great.
That's
Is
not what you're looking at,
this game over, gentlemen?
No, I don't think it's game over.
Has that improved? That has made the situation worse with the side arc.
Yeah, I'm not. That's not where I would want to be.
And that,
maybe he's trying to just make
We saw-
Jaina's light
we saw
stay
something like this.
terrible.
Maybe we saw something like this happen in what's it called? The Vassal World Cup, and I forget the two players that were playing, but it was actually a Concord Starhawk versus a Ravager. And the
Oh,
Ravager
God.
player did something like this where he overturned and wound up taking the Starhawk out of the front and leaving the double arc in the side. But that wound up being a lot closer fight than you would have thought at that point in the game.
like this just,
Starhawk, it's a great ship, but the SSD is just really, really beefy. It's got a lot of staying power, so we'll see how it goes.
yeah, no shock to anyone. Here's a repair on the Starhawk. I suppose this is a JJ SSD, so he can stay close enough to the station, maybe pick off the Jaina's
Support.
light and then move on. But this is the thing: he can't do that and still win the tournament. He can win the match, but he really needs a big number, and I don't think Jaina's light and losing his own flotillas, which will probably happen considering where that red one is either going into the side, into the front of Jaina's light, or is repeatedly whacking its own SSD in the front. I suppose a bit does depend on how the Starhawk rolls as well. Like, I know it has leading shots, but it doesn't have any great rerolls beyond that. So
The
this
side
is
shields off with the repair, leaving them exposed.
like, I don't know that Ragnar can get to the side though.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna ram if you're Thousand Eyes, but like after that,
Yeah, I think he's underestimated.
really good roll.
Jesus.
Except there is only one accuracy.
Torn far time.
Yep. So that is a potential 9 damage on the SSD right now. It has its full tokens, and is that the side shot? That's the front shot. So it's going into the front as well, which has only 3 shields, and then that front will be taking the side shot as well. And there's the failure to get the accuracy. So that's a big difference, not getting the accuracy, unless he's going to LTT one of the hit on the red, and I definitely would at this point. I don't know about e-buys, but to me
it's a tough call, because if it stays the same, great. If you wind up with the blank, then you lose the brace. It's a break point on the brace.
Yep.
So
And getting the
it is a
double
fun
is no
damage.
use.
Yeah. I think it's probably I think you're right. I think it's a risk worth taking, but it is a risk. Let's see how that goes. I guess they decided they didn't want his squadron. Didn't want to keep taking those squadrons. And
Okay,
now
so
it looks like they
that's
might be out of position.
he just took that to the side. So can the side arc of the Starhawk? Oh, that's close. That's close. Let's.
No. Oh wait.
I
yeah.
see black.
No.
Yeah.
I see
see black as well.
black. That's.
Oof.
And Riva is not going to be used then this turn.
Well, let's see here. What's this point? Yeah. And the only thing,
Oh, that is...
yeah, that's nasty.
Oh, you can, wow. Oh, those are just adding the dice. Okay.
Yep, 5.
I was like, damn.
Ooh.
All right. LTT.
Oh, no brace. Probably torn far one of those blues. Can't get worse.
It doesn't really get better.
Nope.
So that's 1 damage,
We
which...
got LTT.
Yeah. Now, Jaina's is really going to do some bloody work here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at this here, boys. There's a tiny sliver of black again in that arc.
Oh, and medium range too. Wait, what?
Yeah.
I think there
I'm not
was...
sure what happened. I'm not really sure what happened there.
You like rolled it and then like set
Set
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened. I don't really see any cards that let you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, here we go. LTT for real. Oh, there's the
he gets
accuracy.
Do you
There's
burn
the
the brace? Do you...
You burn the brace.
Or
That's
do you
4
lock
damage.
down that contain? Do you lock the green contain and go, would you like to take a crit this early?
I'd take the I'd lock down the brace here. Try and
Yeah.
get that extra damage in.
Yeah, because if you lock the contain, you brace, redirect, and move the damage away. So not even a real guarantee for a face up.
Like here,
So,
the real question
next
is,
turn.
how does Ragnar get out of here with that flotilla in the way? Like, is that flotilla just having to jump in and hope for the best?
Yeah, I'm not sure what his plan is for the Red Gazanti.
Okay, so he redirected everything to the front. I think he's just going to murder Jaina's and try and get out of there, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, he's not going to escape. You don't get to escape a Starhawk once the Starhawk has
Especially with Dragon Beams.
You'd be surprised, though.
I guess. I mean, it's fine. I would be surprised. That is accurate.
People are saying that 6 points will tie Ragnar for first, but what you have to take into account is that then 1,000 Eyes jumps to 46 points from the 5, and he's going to be in...
Killing Jane is like it'll be nice if you can get it. But I don't know that Jane is enough, because if 1,000 Eyes can get even half damage on this thing,
yeah,
that's gonna.
and it's got 4 on it already. Shields are drowning. Now, killing Jaina's will help not dying.
Yes.
Did somebody forget to use Whale Explosives at the start of their activation? They did, and he has been used now.
No.
So obviously some bit of sportsmanship going on there.
I appreciate it. I like when people do that. You know, that's not something. That's one of those timing things where it's like, yes, technically it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But there's no point where it's changed your
The
decision
board
making.
state, yeah.
Yeah. So I personally think that's something you let the other guy have, and hats off to Ragnar for being a gentleman about it.
Yep. And I think this tournament has been played in a very friendly way. So yeah, they've just taken their bumps by the looks of it. And I'd say this is the thing though, like you're saying that he won't get away, but I think he'll get out of the double arc next turn.
That's very possible.
And that...
Because he'd swing pretty far.
Yeah. Now, there is the tiny problem of A, Jaina's Light, B, that asteroid, C, his own transport, but I have a feeling Jaina's Light's going speed 1, right?
Yes.
With a navigate, so it can jump to 3, but where is it going to go?
There's nowhere to go.
It's
Pointing directly at it.
and there is a concentrate fire on that thing, and if
Yeah,
it's going fast
probably.
enough to get anywhere, it is triggering quads. So yeah,
And there comes the screaming eagles.
it's like, well now those siles
Driving
are
hard.
unshielded, and if
Yeah. And it's got
nice
a double
crit could
arc.
do some.
Or have a double arc. Doesn't.
yeah, and you remember, folks, TRCs are not just for Christmas; they're also for crits. You don't have to roll. You don't have to put a double. You can do a crit either. So I think what was happening, they're for crit. They're not just for Christmas.
They're for Christmas.
Yes. So it looks like what happened there was the red is actually a hit, not a crit. But when he was adjusting the blue dice because it got stuck, it became a crit. Now he's confiring in a blue because he can TRC, yeah. Because there is an unspent brace, but there's going to have to be a burnt contain here, gentlemen, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
And that is 5 damage coming in. So that's 3 that's going to land on the hull. And we're up to 8 damage. And that SST is bleeding.
Bloodly contains, so no face up.
Janus has a nav token. If I could with Janus, I would ram. I'll just put damage
but
on it.
if Jaina does ram, it is 100% dead. Now it's only 90% dead.
I mean,
as soon as it goes to speed 2, it's giving it the extra dice.
I'm a big believer in ramming things. Ramming speed.
Can it even ram though? Considering it's starting at speed 1 and it confired.
That's the question.
I don't.
Yeah, that's possible. That's one right there.
Does an outside turn to the left here?
Ooh, maybe.
Or you can turn in like
that. He's considering it.
Looks pretty rammy.
Yeah.
Ram bam, thank you, ma'am.
Do it.
Now, while a 10-1 might not get Ragnar the win, it will 100% get 1,000 eyes the win. But is this case with this ram, are his eyes bigger than his belly, as my mother would say?
At this point, if you're accepting that you're probably going to lose, you're almost certainly going to lose Janus at the beginning of the next round, right?
I don't see how that doesn't happen.
So at that point, you might as well get what you can from the ship.
Yep.
In this case, it's 1 more hull damage.
Just 1 more Cornetto. Ram it with a CR90.
Who does he?
So maybe he does this, hopes that the CR90 lives and blocks that SSD in. But I think that's a hope between 0 and none. Having had a Foresight MC30 shot off the board in a similar situation by the same ship, I don't think Jaina's Light is faring much better.
No, I'd agree with that. And bonk.
And Jaina's is now at speed 2, so they do need to update that dial. And I think that's been indicated now. And the
Jaina has eaten that asteroid.
Yeah, but it's Jaina.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just that you can't even see it underneath her.
Nom nom nom. I'm Jaina's Light. Get in my belly.
More rebel smoke and mirrors. It's gonna blow up. It's like, oh no, there's an asteroid! Ah!
We were the asteroid the whole time.
The asteroid was inside us all along.
Ezra Bridger the asteroid out from underneath your ship.
Ezra is such a good little card, though. Especially with like Exogorts and Riffs, and it's like Rebellion of the Rim, the Ezra Bridger expansion. He's He just loves everything about all those objectives.
He really does. I guess that ship's not going anywhere. There you go. Well, probably. I think it's gonna bump.
I am Votan, and I ride my Gazanti to battle and death.
That's also gonna bump. Maybe. That one actually. If you,
I think if he does a turn at 2, he might be able to angle it,
like, sneak it in.
to squeeze between Jaina and the Ravager, but I'm not sure if you want to do that and obstruct your own shot.
You do. You need to get that out of there, because if you don't, you cannot swing that SSD that easily.
Yeah.
That is the real feckin' problem.
That Gazanti has to get out of there. Whatever else happens, that Gazanti has got to get out of there.
Unless we're really wrong about our JJ angles. Which
is possible.
Yeah, because, like, you know.
I am not an expert SSD player.
And neither am I.
I feel like anywhere this thing can go, we'll just block it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. And maybe he'll have to go first with the Gazanti. The other thing is he's maybe trying to get those contested outpost points.
That'll help.
And if he can't get out of there, then maybe he tries and goes somewhere awkward. At this point, like, if you could shoot your own ships in Armada, are you considering just taking that auxiliary arc against your own Gazanti just to get it out of the way, or using gunnery teams to blow it up?
So it's treason then.
Right.
Acceptable losses.
Ruthless strategy.
So if the SSD gets out of there and we've got it versus the Starhawk's side arc, and the Starhawk stripped all its own shields off its side arc.
Oh, it's a different game then.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. I mean, if that happens, I might, if I'm the Starhawk, I might pop the 2 and then push the SSD to 2 and see if I can't get it to swing off the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use the tractor beam offensively.
There's not a lot of room for JJ to go, but it is JJ. He is running out of shields to burn, though. That SSD has 6 shields in total left on it. And they're not coming back or they're not coming back on arcs that can easily be repaired.
If you can get these transports somewhere where they can block that Gazanti from another move, that'd be fantastic. I don't think that's going to happen. Because
I feel like the concentrate fire gunnery teams then is being used to shoot some Gazantis. I think you're just creating a more target-rich environment rather than anything else.
Oh, okay, I'll shoot my 20-point ships. I don't really care that much. I guess the Torn Far one I don't want to lose. What's that? 20.
Well, it's also suddenly giving the SSD activation advantage. Would probably be a really bad move. If it can somehow do JJ magic and get in the back arc of that side arc of that Starhawk, it's A, not dying, and B, murdering everything you love.
No.
But right now, I don't see how it's getting out of there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. Certainly not without moving the Gazanti first.
And maybe that's his plan, but he's double arced with no shields.
So, but if you do move the Gazanti first, you're giving either Jaina's one more turn, which I'm okay, fine, or you're giving, at the very least, you're giving the Starhawk another opportunity to double arc you, which I think is the thing I would do. Just make sure you get that double arc in.
Yeah, and that Starhawk might just out and out kill the SSD if it accuracies those braces. If it gets 2 accuracies and a big roll.
Nah, it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna. Oh, what is it at? Oh, it's got 9. Oh.
Yeah, and the RAM, and whatever the squadrons are going to do.
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
it's not gonna. It's gonna have less than. It's gonna have less than 9, or more than 9 taken by the end of this. There we've 10. And I'll go back to the overhead view again.
It's time to reposition your squadrons, I think.
Okay, I'm going to be back in 2 minutes.
Sure. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see some squadron repositioning. What you're seeing here is that he doesn't want to use squadron commands with his transports at the beginning of the next round.
So the squadrons that can't hit are repositioning.
Right. So what do you think, Mike? I think this means that he doesn't want to use squadron commands at the beginning of the next round. He wants to be able to shoot with the squads without having to do that.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you've got to get those Gazantes really close to do squad commands.
Well, the transports.
Transports.
I mean, they're A-wings. They could have just come down, and like there's nowhere for that SSD to go. They could have come down, been at good range, and then jump back into the fight.
Yep.
Off a squadron command.
And the thing is here that if that SSD can actually get out of there, those squadrons are going to be left behind again.
Yeah, and that is another concern that I would have. I would have pulled the A-wings down into my squad, into my ships, and then let them squad command. I assume he's going to want to see. I guess he wants to send a repair command token with one of them. But we'll see. Did he take a? No.
Yeah, and Valadin says this is how he messed up against Ragnar. He repositioned the squads wrong, and it healed from 12 damage to 10 damage in the pod game.
Yeah, I mean, the squadron game is so. It's so fraught with opportunities to make just slight little tiny mistakes that completely torp your entire game. It looks like we lost Thousand Eyes for a little bit, so we're just waiting for him to regain connection.
Yep, he has regained connection and has been re-promoted.
Remoted?
Re-promoted. But it looks like we're near the end of turn 3. We have the YT-2400 to still come in and take its swing. And that's a squadron that could be very critical.
Yeah.
But those A-wings, the rest of those A-wings are out of position. And if Ragnar can get out of this trap, he does need to one-shot Jaina's Light if he's going first.
He is pulling 2 of them back.
Yep.
So it looks like he'll use one of them as a squadron command.
Yep. Well, you need to keep pumping that. You need to keep pumping the Starhawk with
repair tokens.
Yep. And B, Tycho and Shara can live in that arc and don't care. Whereas the generic A-wings could get one-shotted, particularly now that Gazanti is there as well.
And here comes that black die.
Are we going to take Ragnar to half points before the end of round 3? We are. Or maybe we're not.
That's what's happening.
We are. Yes. So, as of now...
He wants to discard a redirect just to keep that from happening? No. Okay, good choice.
As of now, Can I actually bring... I think if I bring up the score reporting, it causes it to come up for everyone. But that is 158 points right now for 1,000 Eyes. Plus, how many tokens? We have only one on the Rebel side, and we're still only going to have one on the Rebel side at the end of this turn.
He's barely able to get that Gazanti in there.
Do you think he has a place to slide in if he can take out Janus? Is there enough room?
I don't think so.
Slide that big old beast on in there.
I think he might need to just bump that Gazanti and suffer the double arc, unless he wants to start with the Gazanti.
Well, that's the question. Ooh, that's cool. Sorry, my daughter's showing me her rocks, and she has some really cool ones.
Yeah, rocks are pretty cool. They beat scissors for breakfast, and we're just adding a score tracker to the stream. And we'll just move it up a little bit, because I don't think we're going to be using that ass end of that table anytime soon. If we do this again, we'll...
I put it up along the top bar because you have those icons at the top anyways.
Yeah, the problem is I put the text in white in my Brilliance.
Okay. I mean, if you put the black background on, it would work.
Yep.
So now, here's a question: assuming he goes with the Gazanti first, he feels he needs to clear it out, and so he moves the Gazanti. Would you? What's your next activation as Thousand Eyes? Do you take Janus so that you can get Janus to go, or do you accept Janus as a lost cause and you want to make sure you get that double arc in with the Starhawk?
Janus is just like, it's a guaranteed crit.
I think you go with the Starhawk.
Yeah.
Because the next, if you go with Janus first, the next activation, he will try to move out of your double arc.
Yeah.
So he's basically giving you that double arc. You take it. And at the cost of Janus.
That is clearly not what's going to happen. So as he moves shields around, I think I'm wondering if he can put Janus down, and I think he should be able to put Janus down at this range. I wonder if he can sneak in with a JJ move in between where that Gazanti is and that Starhawk. I don't know that'll get him out of the double arc.
I think if he does that, it might. I think if he can do that, he might win the style points.
I mean that is some excellent drifting. But I think there's a space there. I just don't know that he can fit in. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with moving an SSD. I've played it enough in these kind of situations, but I think there might be a space there.
All right.
And certainly he's better hope there is.
That side arc, here he comes. Not a bad roll. Oh yeah, if you have the text there, if you make that text white, that looks really good.
Yeah, I think we have it now.
That's a blue. I'm gonna fish out that crit.
Yeah, well, like, it's every point of damage now counts. Every point.
So he'll pop. Yeah, let's pop it.
But it is a lot less effective.
Yeah. He can actually take all of this on the shields even without brazing, I think. No, he can't. It's 5. count.
Has he already taken the? Oh, and he's salvoing. So
Yeah.
what was intel
s-
officers? The other brace potentially.
Most likely.
I assume the other brace.
But the salvo is. Yeah, Ragnar really needs to get out of here or he's dead.
Yeah.
Because a salvo plus a double arc plus assorted squadrons, and this one is over and done with. Because he's sitting on 10 cards now. Okay, that's wonderful. You got the shields up on that side arc, but
They're just gonna go down to this.
well, he'd just put his side into the front. Is what he'll do. Then you're not Revan, and then the other attack comes in and takes the shields. And the Starhawk is down to 12 hull.
Oh, yeah.
Taking scalps out of each other. Now, the Janus shot. Oh, here's the salvo. I'm jumping ahead. This could be critical.
Oof.
Or, well, there's LTTs yet and leading
Oh,
shots.
he's not even doing that. He's just looks like leading shots.
Is that?
Oh, wow, that's
worked out great. Wow, that worked out great.
But it braces and it's braced
Okay.
and it's redirected, so it's 1 damage.
1 damage, and Reva gets that brace back.
Still very solid.
Yeah.
I mean, still 1. That burnt 2 token or used 2 tokens there.
Okay.
For the 1.
Oh, he's flacking out the side because he does have the. Does that mean the concentrate fire token was spent on that attack? So that means there's no concentrate fire going into that. And there's a die stuck in the air.
2.
Where is the JJ damage coming from this time, though?
Breer.
Yeah, and then he's going to have no shields by the end of this turn, do we think? Here's the important one. Okay, so there's the accuracy for the redirect. Potentially using those HIEs could have been problematic.
8.
That'll do it. As it stands, that's 4 plus 2 for the shields plus another 2. Even if he evades, this is done. That's Jaina's good night. Lights out on the light. So there is some real estate.
Is anyone considering putting a reactive gunnery on Janus?
Yes, I was told not to.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. No, what I really wanted to do was just arm MC30s with reactives.
I can see it. Definitely see that.
Okay, he's just going to go beside the Starhawk. This is... If he can pull this off, I don't think he can.
I think that bumps.
Yeah. I was skeptical. And now that the tool's out, I
Remain skeptical.
need more.
And go into the west and remain Doctah.
I think maybe with a nav command, where if you could have, where if the flip could be on the second.
Second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a case of there are no nav commands in that stack. And there never has been.
Nav commands, please.
Huh. We have shields for that. We only handbrake turn in this fleet.
I do wonder. I think it's going to be tight. It's not going to it's not going to clip by much. I think it probably clips, but it's not going to clip by a whole lot.
I think it might be a shield dial that does for him. But yeah, that Gazanti being in the way actually probably is not making that much of a difference here.
Yeah.
If Janus has survived, then yes, that's a problem. He's still definitely, even if he makes this turn, he's still being double arced.
Yeah.
I think he's reluctant to spend as well the navigate token because Magnites.
Yeah, sure.
Does he flip around?
I don't like that move at all. That's just asking for trouble.
Might move him out of close range though.
Yeah, maybe.
And might move him out of double arc. But if you're doing that,
it's not gonna get you out of the double.
Double arcs are so huge. Those side arcs are so huge.
So long.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be in double arc
for the rest of its life. Rest of its short life. Yeah, because what are we looking at here? We're looking at...
I think if he kept that Gazanti at speed 1, he wouldn't be in this predicament here. Because it'd be probably tucked along somewhere just north of that asteroid field on the right side. And then he would have, take out Janos, give up another command token, sure. Or victory token, sure. And then then you have full swing to the left. But I think he was very focused on denying the victory tokens. And it's kind of got that Gazanti stuck where it's at.
Yep. And the thing is, if he doesn't deny the victory tokens and the Starhawk can get out, the Starhawk can just run with enough of them. And that's... I think he was trying to grab a victory token for himself just in case he can't kill the Starhawk, but has managed to hang on. That asteroid is in a really tricky bloody place, though.
Well, that's the other thing. Even if he manages to sneak through, is he going to wind up clipping? Like the debris field there, take 2 damage, which isn't like a ton of damage for a ship like this, but it's at this point.
Where is the damage going?
Probably those 2 shields on the rear aux.
But again, that lowers Riva's usability then.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's a bad thing. And that's a clip. It's close, but it's a clip. Very barely clips it.
Yep.
He would have taken the asteroid anyway, so that would have been bad.
So there's another damage on the Starhawk, though. That is one thing.
It is.
It's also another damage on your SSD.
Yeah. That is how Rams work, in case anybody at home was wondering.
This has been Rams for beginners. So, Doctah, you have 1 or 2 interesting games on your channel that aren't just the Vassal World Cup. Don't you have a stream against Ken from Ion Radio as well? Didn't you get to play him in Vassal?
Ken versus Ion Radio. I'm not sure if I actually played him.
Was it John?
I played JP 2827, something like that.
Right.
He's actually in this tournament as well. So he finished, in the Swiss stage of the Vassal World Cup, and then JP 2729. I was 1 digit off. He looks like he's gone 4-1 and 36 points here in the Italia tournament. So pretty good showing there. That was a bad matchup for me. He had 2 Simoons with Gergerod dancing around the battlefield. But no, I play play my own buddies and just upload those games. But I do plan on getting those Vassal World Cup games up to there. Alright, it looks like we've got an attack coming in.
Squadrinos of the A-Wing type, and they're just doing what they do. And
System damage.
And expert shield techs are doing what they do. I think this is the problem with SSDs, though. It feels like you're not flying a ship, you're flying a puzzle that it's up to your opponent to solve.
That's fair.
I'd agree with that. Like, it's there's a level of stress because you're out activated, and so you're just kind of like, can my opponent approach this correctly? Because of that strategic advantage of the activations, it really lets them open things up. So ultimately it comes down to, I need to kill something fast to even those out, to remove that strategic tool from my opposition.
Are those A-Wings double arced, where they've just been put by the SSD?
Ooh, yes, they appear to be. I think that means some juicy flak is in our future. Oh, is that side shot coming here from the or front to side shot coming in from the Gazanti? It's got the range.
I think it's going to have to shoot the side, doesn't it?
Yep. Front to side.
As the
Needs a
dice
critical.
gets stuck in the sky.
No. Ooh, only one.
Well, it's the expert shield techs that probably be used anyway.
Yep.
Sadly, neither Gazanti has double arc. There are only 2 shields on the back, so every bit of hull damage counts. We are now 2 hours into this game. I thought we'd be done by now, but this is some very tactical play from these two great players. At this stage, do we think the SSD is going down? Like, it has 11 damage done to it. The Starhawk has it in a double arc. And we know
yes.
that its side can hit its front. Have we a call made on what's happening with this Gazanti damage? I haven't seen a token flipped, and I haven't seen a card taken. The vote from chat is that no, Valaden does not think it's going to go down, whereas Troy White is saying it is going down. So we've split in the audience. I have no idea what's happening here. Have we lost 1,000 eyes again?
Have we?
He doesn't look to be lost.
No.
Ah, there we go.
No,
The
it
expert
doesn't.
shield techs. And another concentrate fire went across the SSD. So what do you think about the really crazy move with the SSD of like not putting gunnery teams on it and just taking advanced gunnery?
I think nobody's gonna take advanced gunnery. So like, you better really have the other thing.
Yeah, you better hope the other players advance gunnery. But
Outside of Akbar, that's
Starhawks and
unlikely.
Akbar are pretty much your only hope in those regards.
Okay,
that is
a very no. That's a bump. That's a bump on the shields, right? That is a bump in the corner into the side shield dial of the Starhawk, to my mind.
Yes, absolutely. All of the
not sure why you wouldn't make a side turn. But yeah, I think that's a bump.
There's a bump, both that and the front dial. So
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate for that Gazanti. You want to take us where, Captain?
They watched Rogue One and got a little too hopeful.
Why is
We
it
have
taken?
another vote. And
Did he just use... No. Why is the back shields... Oh, because he was JJing.
yeah.
I was
I
like...
thought I was like, I mean, if I just figured out why the red one took one on the side.
FFG,
It's
if you're hiring for Worlds commentators, we can be as bad as yours. Just let us know. We know you don't do the game anymore, but you know, if you're looking to, you know, take shame off those guys who didn't understand that Riken and stuff can still be alive and dead, just reach out.
I have not seen that. Like I said, I'm a newer player, so Worlds hasn't existed. I just started playing in 2020. Great time to pick up a tabletop game. What happened there? So they had got commentators from FFG staff.
Mad, feel free to remind me, but wasn't it a case of where they were, where a Raikkonen ship, they were talking about what it was going to do next turn and it was already dead, and this went on for like half an hour until the turn actually finished.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, is that thing just concentrating fire to try and, blow up A-Wings? Just one more damage, just keep me alive, Mr. Gazanti, and you will be rewarded in Imperial Valhalla. And obviously it's not easy anymore to see which squadrons they're targeting because it's probably all going on in chat. Yeah, he can't fire. There is no way for him to slow down, and there's an asteroid there. So using the old traditional flotilla break isn't normally meant to be used by flotillas. Now, does a Starhawk want to... Like, he's going to throw both arcs into the SSD here, right? He's not just going to get distracted and punt a Gazanti.
no, it goes to the SSD here. No question.
Because can he kill it in this attack? Like, that's an unshielded side to front shot. And he can't afford to redirect. Because if he does, he's not getting Riva on that side. And here, and the jury is in. We've got one accuracy for the green brace. So I think you're burning the red one at this point. And you're containing. Right? Taking your 2-hull and going, yes sir, can I have some more please? Because Riva has not been used. Yeah, there's the contain. He's going to be taking 4 damage. No, he's looking at the brace. He's hovering. He's counting the cards. He will be dropping down to 13 points taken at this stage. Or he'll drop to 15 if he doesn't burn this brace. Yep, it's burnt. Are XX7s the weapon of choice you want when you're facing an SSD? Just making those things. Do we still have everyone?
Yeah, I'm here. I actually have never played against an SSD. I was really hoping to, at least in the Fast World Cup, just get some experience there.
That's a lot of accuracy.
I like XI7. I like XI7s against SSDs though. They offer, they're essentially like an accuracy on the stick. You know, like, oh, okay, I don't need to worry about you accuracying or redirecting at all.
That's 7 damage and nothing can be done.
Yeah, that's nasty.
So that's 5 to the hull, and unless he wants to burn that contain, he is left.
In fact, I would have left.
He
I'd
has
let him-
not burnt the contain. Injured crew, discard one of your defense tokens.
Oh no. Yeah, I would have.
So that's the contain gun.
I would have locked the contain actually, and the 2 green tokens. Because even if he burns the redirect, he would have been taking a face up.
So with that amount of damage, can he actually afford to shoot the Starhawk anymore?
That's a great question.
Because salvo is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. Salvo is a thing, and he is going to go to 3 hit points after this ram. And the Starhawk still has 10 hull.
And 3 shields on the front.
Yep.
I don't think you can shoot it.
And he's dropped, he is speed 1. So if he wants to get out of those arcs, he's going to have to go to speed 2. And like we're looking at turn 4. I don't see the SSD coming back from this. Those 3 accuracies were brutal. And we're squads. Yeah, we're not done yet. That was the YT 2400, I believe.
Yeah, expert shield text though.
Yep.
Oh, looks like I missed something big.
Yep.
I've had a crying infant.
Basically 3 accuracies off the front arc. And he's burnt. He's now burnt. He's down to redirect and brace.
Yeah.
This looks like curtains.
Yeah, he'll get to go first, but
and he is down to two hit points. He cannot shoot the Starhawk anymore.
Yeah, that's probably not a good choice to shoot the Starhawk and take the salvo.
Is that a miss? What's going on? Not 100% sure. Is he going to burn the last redirect to stop himself going to 1 hull? I think we are about to see. Okay, so he's going into turn 5 with 2 hull on that SSD. I think, gentlemen, we are going to see the first Battle for HOTH tournament winner decided tonight and decided in the next 10 minutes, because 2 squadrons can realistically murder. Did they forget to do a command on a flotilla?
Well, I think actually he'll need all 4 squadrons, given that he's got he can redirect twice.
Yep. But can he get away far enough from the from the Starhawk?
That's the real question.
And remember, he has 2 shields left across the whole ship. So Reva's not going to be doing too much work. And my piloting of TTS, I keep forgetting that other people are having to watch my views, and I'm hope to God I'm not making anybody seasick.
I know, I fall in the same traps. Like, I'm like, oh man, I'm recording this, and I'm like zooming around, like just while I'm waiting for my opponent to do things.
Let's go over there.
I really think I don't see a way out of this for Ragnar. You know, it's that tractor beam probably really threw him off his game plan. And I think he imagined he'd be in a lot different position at this stage of the game.
Now, he
know,
can
turn
pick up
5.
a transport here. And if he can somehow make that miracle happen, so he's brought back up shields. He has not taken any hull off. This is into the Starhawk.
Into the Starhawk.
That has to be
That's
into the Starhawk, right?
Yeah, nothing else. I would, yeah. Well, he has 3 accuracies, and that's what you need with salvo on the table.
Yeah, but you burn the salvo here, right? You
I guess, yeah,
100%
you know,
burn the
yeah,
salvo.
chuck it, forget it.
And then Riva is not in play if you take down the shields. Because you don't need to brace. You're not taking any actual damage because you just expert shield techs. You still have, yeah, that salvo is being burnt. I wonder what was. Nothing was intel officer. Is he saving the intel officer for? Oh, he's using. We spoke too soon. He's using Ravager to add the extra dice from the dial. So that is 4 damage. I presume lock both braces and the salvo. So the redirect to reduce it down to 3. That contain is being burnt. No one was shocked. Now, if we see another accuracy double hit, this is going to be curtains. We're seeing a white dice somehow. I think it's because we've got people logged in from Italy. Okay, so we've got the accuracy.
A rare white dice.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of internationals who joined this. This is the LTT. So
a
both
test product from Tater's shop.
I think it tore in the blue here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to actually get a little bit more damage in.
Why are suddenly both tokens are exhausted all of a sudden? What is going on here? I'm very confused. Wouldn't be the first time.
How did he get a shield on the front again?
Repair command.
Repair command with the token, so 6 engineering. 2 on the 2 on the left side and 1 on the front, and then he already had the 2 in the aux left.
All right.
So, why is his redirect exhausted?
Looks like he redirected down to 1 damage off the salvo.
But I think both accuracies.
He might not have spent them.
Yeah.
You know, just go ahead, burn them. I'm going to shoot you twice and deal even more damage. So.
Yes, we have to eat it at the table.
Well, Ragnar's definitely eating it on this table tonight, I think. Let's see. Will this Italian admiral who has flown his SSD really well all tournament surprise the commentators by putting it somewhere we do not expect? Okay, he's going to blow up the flotilla first, I presume. Or at least try. Or flak. So we do have that A-wing double arced. And that SSD is living by inches and inches rather than anything else. And A-wings you can't avoid, so does he just try and murder it? And okay, I think maybe their voice is crapped out. Or maybe the salvoing confused everything. So this is a flak attack. That's an A-Wing dead. So Boba Fett has chimed in that the Ragnar's best hope is a mutual table. Actually, do you know what the mistake is? Not accuracying both tokens, because Ragnar just spending one token just means Reva's coming into play.
Yeah.
Now, unless he structural damages himself on that asteroid after JJing, but you know, I have a feeling that's probably not what's going to happen here. Okay, I think there's some confusion over which squadron, but it looks like there was a leading shots thrown. Wait, there's no, yeah, leading shots on that flak. I think the whitey has already taken damage. Okay, and Ragnar is correcting his opponent. He believes his opponent has done too much damage to his own squadrons, and the game state is restored. Again, like, two great show of sportsmanship from both players. They just want to get the game right. I think they may have lost voice somewhere along the line, because they are now in chat. Oh.
So fun little fact about Tabletop Simulator is if you hit the tab key, I mean not as a player but as a player, even if you have a normal cursor, it can create that arrow automatically. You can notice Ragnar has the ruler tool out, and that's how else you can make an arrow. But you can just hit the tab key naturally with without the ruler tool out, which makes it a lot easier to keep playing the game without having to swap tools.
Okay, so for the late joiners among us, this is turn 5. The SSD is the first ship to activate. Jaina's Light is pancaked. Some A-Wings have died. Jaina's Light has died. And the SSD is on 2 hull.
It's like the shot came in at the green GR75. Probably just...
Did he get the accuracy? Sorry, I missed that.
I did not see an accuracy on there.
Yeah. Did he use the intel officer on him? No.
No.
So yep, I think they have definitely lost voice chat at this stage. They're going to use the SSD is going to go to speed 2. And I think after this move, we're going to know fairly quickly where that SSD is going to go and whether we're just going to have an attack and an explosion and a tournament. Slip sliding away is what this SSD wants to do, but I don't see it. It's just going to go straight because it's still hoping for those points.
Contest that outpost. The objective.
Contested at your peril, it seems.
Yeah, I think this is the last we've seen of Ravager.
The fair ship Ravager, and all who sailed on her. I think we're having... Christopher Van Cleve is saying, I've never seen a bid more than 10 points anyhow. Obviously, you've never met the Canadians, who, during the preparation for one World Cup, had basically lost each other's minds and were up to 20 and 30 point bids.
Oh my goodness. That's a huge bid. Angry Ewok in the Vassal World Cup final had a 13-point bid.
Yeah, well, Ragnar is carrying.
What is that? 24, I believe. If I'm recalling the list correctly.
I'm pulling it up just so we don't embarrass ourselves. Because we're professionals here on this podcast. That's a total lie. He has a 24-point bid.
Wow. Yeah. I would have thrown at least quad laser turrets or something to help out.
The thing is, though, it's just being able to choose the battle you put it on is. So Ragnar's Discord has crashed, which is why we're seeing all these text commands. And his ping is going down like that SSD is as soon as the Starhawk activates. But yeah, like. And now we're just hearing people in the chat who've had 32-point bids and 30-point bids. And I'm glad we got the craziest motherfuckers on this show tonight. 32-point bid, yeah. That seems mad. Okay, so we're going to see a flotilla first, who is going to put a concentrate fire on that Starhawk. Yeah, 1,000 Eyes is leaving nothing to chance. Now, if there's a concentrate fire on those Gazantes and they put an awkward critical on, that is going to be hilarious. The Gazanti, the hero we need, not the one we deserve. Though I'm not sure what critical.
I'm not sure what would help, even because expert shield tech still.
Yup.
So like you need concentrate fire and have a critic, both of them hit. But even then they contain.
Yep.
I don't see any way out for.
And he's using the dial on the Gazanti, which is a navigate, to have it not die horrifically. Do you just... I suppose you have to shoot the Starhawk and hope for a frickin' miracle, right? So that flotilla has scattered already.
Yeah, just going for it.
And its bright hope has been pointed out. So, again, great sportsmanship from our two players. So I presume he's going to shoot the ass of the Starhawk now, right?
Yeah, I think a fleet like Ewoks will want a bid. Where you prefer second player, but you're not afraid to take first. But yeah, I don't see any point of having anything over 10 points really. If you're bringing 10 points a bid to the table, you're usually leaving something out that you're gonna kind of want.
So Veladin has come in with the stats. Basically, a 5-point bid wins you initiative 75% of the time on this TTS. On the TTS stats, his calculations. 10-point bid wins you initiative 90% of the time, and even a 2-point bid wins you initiative 38% of the site.
Yeah, I brought a 1-point bid to Vassal World Cup with the intention of like this should be enough, and it was. I was able to get all my Swiss games. I was able to have choice of first or second. So I really think having massive bids is just out of style right now. Unless you're Canadian, I guess.
This is the thing. How many people want to actually go first, though? It's like objectives since Rebellion in the Rim have gotten so strong. Infested Fields and Asteroid Tactics are doing work. doing absolute work. The Rift Ambush ones, nobody wants to have to walk into surprise attack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are fleets that'll do it. Here we go. Is this the Starhawk activation? So it's the concentrate fire. We know that. Where is the first shot coming from? And that front is going into that auxiliary side arc. And for clarity, that has 1 shield left. So yeah, 2 accuracies and 3 damage, and the Italian dream is over. That's what we're looking at here. Or even enough damage out of...
Just raw damage. Oh, that's what we got with this roll.
Yeah, that is 7. You can reduce it to 4 with brace. And that is good game, as far as I can see. Wait, is there 2 shields? No, there's 2 shields. He can keep it alive. If he reduces it to 4... Yeah, it reduces it to 4. Redirect. No, have they called it? Have they forgotten that you can use a redirect as a traditional? Well, yeah, it would be over with the next attack anyway. And I think...
Barring some...
Yeah, so it's 7 damage with 1 accuracy. I'm not seeing the accuracy dice, but I'm seeing the accuracy on the...
Oh, I think it got pulled off the table here.
Oh, there's the accuracy. Yeah, without brace, it's dead. He's LTT.
I don't think that accuracy's in the pool though. I think that is just forgotten about.
Okay, and the cons fire in black.
Black.
If this is damage, I think it's over and done with.
Oof.
It's not. But I think Ragnar's conceding.
Because, yeah, you brace down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, because he's considering leading shots to roll the black and the red. I think after this... And we have to you the honor. So that is a concession. The SSD goes down. We have a battle for HOTH champion. Congratulations to 1000Eyes, a worthy winner, a dangerous, dangerous player to meet in any tournament. Don't meet him down a dark alley. But yeah, just to say to Valadin for all the work he's done, thank you very much. To the organisers in Italy, thanks for giving us a great tournament and encouraging so many people to join. I don't think they thought they'd get the amount of players they ended up with. And what is it? We ended up with a total of, I should know this because I've said it on like 6 or 7 times.
60 I saw on that.
60, which
60.
that beats out a lot of nationals. And I think they're agreed to... I think they know they're calling it. But yeah, that will give 1000Eyes the tournament. He was already 3 points ahead. This is a 10-1. Because there's those 2 A-Wings in Jail's line are not 100 points. And even an 8 was going to give 1000Eyes the win. So it is now 10 o'clock here in Ireland. So I am going to say goodnight. We may try and get 1000Eyes on the channel at some point. Listen, thank you so much, Madaghmire and Doctah, for joining me tonight. I hope you had a bit of fun.
Oh, I did, yes. Thanks for hosting. And I'd recommend y'all check out Madcat's most recent video with Real Veers, an interview of the Vassal World Cup champion.
And
Really
another
insightful
gentleman.
video.
Yeah, Real Veers is another another real gentleman. Even in the final game where his opponent flew his ship off the board due to a mistaken command dial, real just let him have a take back. And that's the level of class. And the question is, the Hawk has 9 hull. The Hawk has 10 hull. It is all grand. That is the safest Hawk you could be on right now, because there's nobody to oppose it. All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to end it there. Good night. Safe